Madame Jeannette Leduc.
Elle a eu une opération au cœur.
J'ai rêvé à une Africaine. Je la sens à l'intérieur de moi.
Et est-ce qu'elle vous dit des choses?
I grew up in St. Boniface, so I went to Francophone school, but my parents always spoke to me at home in English. In fact, I had a bit of a French accent when I was like 4, which is really weird. But then all my friends were Anglophones from the block, so I was always playing with English kids, so I lost that. Winnipeg was kind of a little bit boring. I just, at a certain point, wanted to leave. I mean, there's lots of things I love about it, but I didn't want to be the kind of person that just stayed in one city for his whole life. So as soon as I saw a window to go somewhere else, I came to Montreal.
J'en veux pas d'enfant. Je vais être libre.
Fait que, il va comment, le nouveau cœur?
C'est le plus beau jour de ma vie.
Santé.
Est-ce qu'il y a quelqu'un d'autre?
Le sexe avec lui est écœurant. Il aime ça quand je m'assois sur sa face.
C'est écœurant pareil.
J'imagine que t'es au courant qu'il a baisé avec à peu près tout le monde ici.
Bruno, XXX.
I started when I was in university. I was in history, so I was influenced by history, and then all of a sudden in my 3rd year there was like a film program just starting at the University of Winnipeg, and so I decided to take a course as an elective just to see if I liked it. And all my friends were musicians, and so this was a chance to do something different than what they were doing, and so I just really loved it. We shot a film on a Bolex, so 16mm, got to work with the film. We edited it all on a Steenbeck and just really liked the medium. And then shortly after university, I started getting involved with the Winnipeg Film Group, which is this kind of arts collective, which is really the real film school in Winnipeg. That's where I met Matthew Rankin and Guy Madden and all these people. So my first job out of university was I did the rear screen projections on a film called My Winnipeg, which is a Guy Madden film. And he just showed up with, you know, all these hard drives of video that he shot out in the streets of Winnipeg, and we just sat there in a little room and put it all together, and it was just a really great experience. And then I worked shortly after that on a Hollywood film as like a camera assistant that was in Winnipeg, and it was just totally different. It was I was like the running around doing errands, and I was in the camera department, and it was really uninspiring to me. So I really wanted to bring this kind of do-it-yourself aesthetic to my earlier films, and just kind of yeah, and just kind of have fun, make sure that I was having fun when I was making films, because it's very easy to not have fun when you're making films. So that was always really important for me. And I feel like I've brought a lot of that kind of attitude and tradition to Montreal, and I always try to make sure we have fun when we're making a movie.
Je voudrais vous présenter ma mère.
Danse avec lui. C'était ton préféré.
Africa, mon Africa, Africa. Africa, mon Africa. Africa, mon Africa. Africa.
Maman,
Africa, mon Africa.
est-ce que tu m'entends? Vous avez un bon cœur. Un bien bon cœur.
You know, a lot of like the films that get funded in English Canada, for instance, it's clear that there's an attempt to mimic Hollywood a lot of the time, and then there are auteurs within English Canada that kind of have done their own thing, like, you know, the Guy Maddens and the Cronenbergs and stuff like that, and John Pays, and there are a number of them, but it's not really kind of a unified tradition. Whereas in Quebec, I feel like, you know, especially starting with the 60s and on, you really see a tradition that's developed. I mean, there's lots of different aesthetic approaches within that tradition, but by and large, it's richer. So I don't know what I'm bringing to it. I'm interested by it, and I'm just trying to do my own thing. But yeah, I think it is a richer tradition than we have in English Canada for sure. The biggest difference was budget, like working with a production company and stuff like that. So my first film has a lot of the same sense of humor and a lot of the same kind of approach to working with actors and stuff that my second feature does. But the biggest difference is that first film was shot for something like $40,000, whereas this one's much more money. So what we did with the first film was, instead of trying to stylize locations, which is what we did with Sabali, is I was trying to find places that were interesting, because I didn't have the money to dress them, I didn't have the money to buy all these props and costumes. So I was really working with, in the Portugal section, just kind of the architecture and the beauty of that region. And then in the Winnipeg section, I was really working with the Winnipeg winter, making it very extreme looking, very cold. And so it was more of a documentary-like approach by the very nature of the budget. Whereas the second feature, I had the money, so I could take a more of an artistic approach and really kind of design the locations, design the style, and so I really enjoyed that. So that, I would say that would be really the budget that was the biggest difference between the two films. I'm working on a new film right now, and it's, or I'm writing one, and it's partly in English, partly in French. It's based on this series of letters that this radio host received, and so I'm writing characters based on these letters. So, but it's still at a very embryonic stage, so I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I mean, I would be happy to work in French or in English. For me, it's really more about what is the story, and I will adapt that story to, or I will adapt to whatever that story wants to be. Just make stuff. I mean, you have to make stuff in order to get good. So I would just encourage them. It's so cheap now. You can just take a camera and just go out there and shoot stuff, and just keep making stuff until you're good at it, and then you'll be able to get funding, and that would be my advice. Don't wait around and try to get like a huge budget or something. I would say just go out and make stuff, and you know, the language of cinema is the same whether it's a movie made for no money or a movie made for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, it's really about, you know, the way that you place the camera and the way you edit the film together, and anyone can do that now. So.